This Michelin EWXC race action from round number 3 is brought to you by Recopane Landscaping, Pertec Fluid Solutions, in association with Titans, Enduro World, and Nucleus Mining Logistics. A change of venue, lastminute.com, meant we were back at the classic venue of Heidelberg. Andre, great to be back at Heidelberg for round 3 of the EWXCs, but we weren't supposed to be here, lastminute.com, eh?
Yeah, it was a little bit last minute. Unfortunately, there were a few things I was unhappy about at the previous venue, and instead of running the risk of having the event cancelled a few days before, we decided to take the safer route and come back to Heidelberg where there's all the infrastructure. We've done a totally different route in a different direction, so it's all good.
Francois, you and I have been pals in racing for many years, and it seems to be like you always bring the whole Raceworks family down to the EWXCs. What is about these events that you love so much?
I must say, I think the workout you get, the camaraderie we've got, just all the things that comes with racing makes it just an amazing experience. So yeah, that's why you'll always see us there.
Dueno, dragging bars on motocross. It looks like the motocross intensity has got you back on the rocks properly again.
Well, we hope so. You know, it's a challenge doing both disciplines, but it's awesome, and yeah, it's why I ride. You know, just to have fun.
Like I caught up with you a couple of months back. You said this is your comeback year, starting to develop with the bike. The Sherco seems to be comfortable now.
Yeah, look, the Sherco is awesome. I've just had a few issues just with some setup and stuff, and that's cost me quite big, but we've sorted that out, and we're ready to roll. Yeah, it's a great series. I mean, you can tell by the entries. Very, very challenging rides always. You know, it's really in your face. Good fitness, good training for the year. Great series.
Yes, yeah, look, they're fun events. It's a lot slower to what I'm used to from the old quad days, but they're nice. They're slow, tough, very technical, but it's like a fun, man. It's really enjoyable.
What do you think you can do today? Because you always used to be the king of the EWXCs. I'm waiting for you to come back.
Hey, look, the goal is always to try and win, but to be honest, I'll be happy with a podium, and yeah, nothing less.
Yeah, okay, so I'm not going to race today. I'm just here to support my brother. So he likes this rock hopping and stuff, so it's cool. It's nice to pit for him a bit, so I think it's going to be a good day. It looks like the oaks are ready. Yeah, I think it's going to be fun.
Yeah, I used to race the off-roads with my brother Ian, and we switched over recently, started racing some enduro with my wife Kerry, and so this is the first year that I'm actually trying to ride the EWXCs. It's been good so far. Had some technicalities on the first race or so, but the rest of it's been very nice. Marked very nice. Routes are fun and challenging, so yeah, overall.
Yeah, I'm thrilled, and thank you very much to all the guys that supported us. Just over 200 entries, so we're thrilled about that, yeah.
As always, the morning session would be about the pro riders going out and opening up the track. With a slight change in the layout though, the morning session was going to be difficult unless you got the coveted hole shot, because it was going to be one huge climb that was going to be one of the key features of the racing loop. They call it the highway when you go up the back end of Heidelberg, up the highway, straight up into the sun and the dust. So the pro riders were going to have a challenging first loop at least until they started the descent, coming down the Russian and heading into the pit village once again. We chatted to Big Ron from the Roost about what lay ahead.
Well, look, obviously it's my farm, so I will be here, mine and Craig's and the guys, but yeah, off-road racing is our life. And we've been part of it for a good part of 35 years, you know. We run all the series. We run the nationals, as you know, Wade Blah and all the boys and Peter Karam. They run the nationals, the GXCCs, and yeah, I think the racing is definitely going more into the hardcore racing, you know, the extreme. And yeah, we love the rocks and the afkak, you know.
Talk to me about the route then. What are the guys going to be in for? And obviously it's been dry the last couple of weeks as well, so that's going to change things up.
Absolutely. There's no mud on the route. I did it on Monday, so that's all good. There's less breathing space in between the tech sections. We've added 1 or 2 kilometers, so a little bit more tougher, but on the whole, all enjoyable. Nothing too crazy.
With an extension of the loop though, we were looking at at least over 40 minutes for the pro category racers to turn the laps, and the pros were on a queue for 5 laps. The Masters a slightly easier day for them. Even though they were out in the morning session and on the main loop, it was just going to be 2 laps of racing for these guys. Bruce Spence cracked his way inside of a top 10, with Xavier Dassenberg up inside of the first of the single digits. The riders crested all the way up the highway, and it was tough as well, because at the top it does tend to peak off a little bit before you start going into the descents. The flatland section was where you could catch your breath a little bit. Rian Venter was there in 8th place with Rowan van Vesthuizen, showing how the descent is done. Very, very cool style, but it's all about commitment on the big downhills. Chris Mortimer, who battled with health issues in the early part of the year, is starting to find his form once again and not revving out his heart too high. So Chris Mortimer now inside of a top 6 and building in his championship. But remember, this is round 3 of a 4-round championship, so we're running rapidly out of time. Inside of the top 5 and the big brag as well, because the Masters Gate is getting very tasty. Johan Bass was the number 5 on the day, and just up the road from him was a man that used to challenge for this championship as well, but struggling to find his form at the moment, and that is Otto Horlocker. Down in the lowlands, you could see his style and his aggression just wasn't where it used to be 1 or 2 years ago. Otto struggling at the moment outside of the podium positions once again, taking a number 4 on the day. The Masters Gate has definitely got faster, and we do find that as the seasons wear on, because what used to be a senior becomes a master, and the age-out category falls into play. Peter Abramser was the number 3 rider on the day. Sean Kirk, even though it was a 2nd place, it was a much closer finish this time around, and he is rapidly picking up the pace on his fast KTM. Up the road though from him, and well out front in the championship, making it now 3 wins out of 3 starts for Recapan Landscaping. Ivan Roux getting the job done, and the first triple winner of the season so far.
How's your race?
Tough, eh? Very tough, but lekker. So lekker. Riding with my buddy Len. I don't know what's going on with his bike now.
How's it going?
There we go. Got
Awesome,
it.
enjoy.
Thanks, eh?
Having fun?
Oh, I'm done, eh? I'm cramping so badly.
It seems like you've done a couple of laps.
Yeah, no, last one. Just trying to make it home now, eh?
All the
That's what
best.
it's all about.
As always, our cameraman Steph up on the mountains, making buddies when the guys are completely out of gas. Climbing the ladder then inside of the senior gate. Peter Raposa got himself up there to a number 10 ride. And the shots up at the very, very pinnacle of the mountain, at the very top end of the highway, show how blown the guys truly were. Christopher Stahl got himself up there inside of a number 9, with Jean Ballester up inside of a number 8. Jorik Zeeman flowed beautifully into a number 7 ride. Luciano Freyling, one of the many rock stars coming out of the Raceworks KTM squad, he got himself inside of a number 6 ride, muscling the Raceworks KTM all the way through the trails. With Johnny Viviers, who has been on the EWXC tour for so many years, and experience definitely counts for something here and in this testing terrain of Heidelberg. If you've ridden and raced here a couple of times, you know all the sweet spots. Viviers used that to his advantage to get himself a number 5 ride. Jeff Patterson, the second of the Recapan Landscaping racers, got the job done as well. He has rocked top 5 finishes at almost every single one of the 3 rounds raced so far. So his star is starting to climb in the championship chase. Mike Jostin surprised a few and himself as well at round number 3 to record his highest finish of the season so far in the senior pro category. He beat out some real big players, got a good gate, and stayed well out of trouble. Missing in action for round number 1, slowly building pace at round number 2, and at round number 3, this guy came out of almost nowhere. He had a low ranking, so he wasn't out there with the players on the track, but his times told the story. João Achadina was rocking his way to a number 2 spot. Up the road was the 199, and the rider to beat on this tour at the moment. His times are intimidating. Another rider, like we saw in the Masters Gate. We've got a 3-time winner on the tour. Ronnie Fenter is the man at the moment. Can he be beaten? on this tight championship. Moving then into the high school category, where a lot of these kids were out in the morning session and really battled, because remember, the high school guys are limited in their CC capacity, and they're skinny little kids most of the time. This climb and the descent really asks a lot of them. Ruben Peters was inside of a top 10, with Timmy Burns getting the job done first at the single digits, and the shot here on the mountain just showing how gnarly and exposed the track really is. Boren de Toy was inside of a number 8, with Gigi Graham Krief getting a number 7. He had some issues on the day. We'd expect to see Gigi running a little bit higher than that. 7th is going to trouble him in the championship with only 1 round still to go. In the flatlands, Tyron Peltzer was all on his lonesome. Similar situation in the mountains, where they were completely exposed. The story on the day was the sun came up and was beating hard from very early on in the morning. Matt Battersby, a number 5 finish once again, and one of the most consistent riders on the high school gate coming out of this season's EWXC Tour. Owen Segura was up the road inside of the number 4, another strong ride for him. If I'm right, one of his highest finishes on the season as well, and that's what we do find for the high schoolers. They have a very high climbing rate, and they do get faster real quick. Lenny Bagwitz was inside of a top 3 riding out of the Titans race squad. The Titans fielding a smaller squad this time around. They're going to be back in full force at round number 4 though. Bagwitz was waving the flag for them and the Yamaha squad. Liam Elkington is definitely a championship player. He might be aging out soon though, so he is running out of time to try and nail down his championship. A number 2 spot and constant top 3 finishes for the season so far coming in for Elkington. Only 1 rider up the road, and it's J-Dog, Jordan Cowley. The 400 rocking his way to another win. He is by far the man to beat at the moment on the high school category gate. Again, not quite sure if he's going to actually be on the high school gate next year to be able to defend, so he's making hay while the sun is shining. He is the kid to beat once again coming out of round number 3. In the Pro Bs, where you start to see these guys running a slightly longer day on the timeline. Remember, it got so hot, round about 9 o'clock, it was already well up into the high 20s. Quentin Krabi, getting chased by Steph on the mountain, was inside of a number 10 ride, with Graham Trembling in a number 9, and Ryan Neville taking a number 8 ride. As the day wore on, a couple of the riders were actually trying to find a little bit of respite on the mountain and hide under the tiny bits of shade that did appear up on the highway. Liam Walters was rocking the 440 to a number 7 ride. Took the cautious approach to the big descent on the Russian. Bernard Bodenhorst shows us what the lowland section looked like. We used 2 dry riverbeds and the gullies. They were peppered with rocks, low-hanging branches, and it was a real big challenge. Bodenhorst just got away from the camera crew this time, taking a number 6 ride. Back up on the mountains, and Sean Duprier was getting himself up inside of a top 5. Sean, real fast developing rider coming out of the huge Vikings Enduro racing squad. They've got a lot of support the last couple of seasons, and Sean Duprier is bringing them bacon with a number 5 ride. Werner Roll, older brother of Ian Roll, was out there trying to just polish his style. For the last couple of rounds, he's been a little bit too aggressive, bringing that motocross style of his and hard throttle response to the rocks. This time around, a much calmer approach. And Werner Roll also gets rewarded with his highest finish so far, a number 4 ride. Up the road was Oscar Masango. Oscar is racing everything that isn't nailed down this season. He's racing flatlands, rocks, extreme enduros, and I'll tell you what, the seat and saddle time is definitely paying off. The 3:22 of Oscar Masango, his star is definitely on the rise. A 3rd place once again, high numbers in the Pro Bs. So who are the top 2 runners in the Pro Bs at the moment? Reinhard Otto, very consistent. You can put your mortgage on him, bringing home number 3 rides every single time. He loves this terrain, and he is butter out at Heidelberg. And then cool to see the 727 starting to deliver the goods once again. Xander Goosen running a lot of injuries last year and the beginning part of this year, and he is finally starting to find his groove once again. He's got the hookup going on the West Husqvarna. He's running the Black Betty this year, but finally back on top, Xander Goosen finding his form in 2021. Into the rarefied atmosphere then of the Pro Elites. Remember, these guys had a 5-lap racing format. It was the longest, toughest day for them. Stefan Tolme cracked a number 9 ride with some Piwe Mklungu getting the job done first of the single digits. Mklungu also an improving rider on the 2021 tour so far. Up on the hill, and Jaco Kruger was getting the job done, also riding out of the Roost KTM squad. He's got a completely different style to a lot of the other riders, quite short as well, so he does tend to sit down quite a lot. When he can stand up, it looks like he's sitting down as well, but he does manage to find some hookup every now and again. If he tags the front end on a rock though, those little legs do battle to get the front end lifted, and he has to rely on KTM power. Steve Makwasa got the job done riding into a number 7 ride. Steve-O also doing a great job at Heidelberg, knows this track very well, does a lot of training and practice out here, so you expect him to know all the sweet lines to get the job done, especially up on the big exposed climbs. Tag teaming once again, the 2 Sherco boys were running 5 and 6 this time around. Too Tall himself, Matty Berger, getting a number 6 ride. We have seen good form coming in from Berger for the last couple of seasons. He seems to be developing his style once again. He does get faster as the year gets longer. For now, Berger running a 5 and 6 in the championship. 5th place on the day, going to his good buddy and stablemate on the second of the factory Shercos, Aldo Lowe, bringing home a number 5 ride. Remember, to crack number 5 in the Pro Elites at the moment, the pace that these guys run is huge. So cool to see Berger and Aldo Lowe getting the job done in the 5 and the 6 for the Shercos. First of the KTMs then inside of a top 4 was Austin Stewart. He had some problems on loop number 1. He got dropped on the top of the big climb and lost touch with the top 3. And then just moments before entering the pits, coming out of the gully, he also took a slight wrong turn, losing around about 15 seconds in the process. Stewart, though, did recover nicely, got his 5 laps in the bag, and got rewarded with a number 4 finish. That will keep him in the top 5 for the championship as we head to the final round as well. So the riders battling for the top 3 were the standard option. Duano Clanhams, the former king of the EWXCs, just could not run the pace of the top 2 at this round. Faded a little bit in the latter laps, but 3rd place keeps him on the box. He said all he wanted was a podium. He gets that. And that butter style once again is coming into play. But unfortunately, the speed is not quite where it used to be a couple of years back. It will, no doubt, come back, and there's potential still for Duano to take a win with 1 round still to go. 2nd place this time around, and remember, this is an incredible story of the season. The now factory rockstar Husqvarna racing rider Heinrich Aust, he got a 2nd place by milliseconds at round number 1. He hammered the field just over a month ago at this very venue at round number 2, and that put him at the top of the championship standings. 2nd place here keeps him at the top of the championship standings, but he, of all riders, will not have wanted to take that beating and was very surprised at the pace of this guy. Rob Garvey has been battling to find his form in 2021. Remember, he is a new father at the beginning of this season as well. So he's figuring things out. The kid is starting to sleep through, and Garvey is finding enough rest to bring the pace and the intensity. He put over 2 minutes into the best of the rest on lap number 1 and extended throughout the rest of the day. Garvey was simply on a level of his own at round number 3. He took the flag and was pumped.
Hollywood, Garvey, dude, where have you been all year? You've only just arrived.
Just everything worked out today, eh? I was hitting one with the bike and a good rhythm. So yeah, I'm happy, very happy. A long time overdue.
Good job, dude. Well done.
Thank you.
Heinrich, dude, you're the king of the EWXCs, but you got owned today. What the hell?
I don't know what happened, but Rob was on fire, eh? On fire. But I must say, I'm tired of this Heidelberg rocks now. Jeez, like, it's just golden like this everywhere, but we enjoyed it. It was fun.
Yeah, man. In your face, eh?
Yeah, definitely.
Congrats, you're still the championship leader.
Ron, man, always good to watch you pin it down here at Heidelberg, but I think you were pushed hard this time around, eh?
Yeah, it was definitely. It felt like we did 7,000 burpees out there. It was hectic. I'm finished. I'm tired. I think Joe caught us from behind. definitely. But we'll have to wait. We just wait and see what happens. But either way, it was amazing. It was lekker. We can compete. It's good. It's fun. We love it.
Tell me about the highlights of this track. I mean, I was down there in that gully. I love that. But the highway up there, you guys were exposed.
Yeah, the highlights of the track is when I finished the finish line. That was the highlight. No, it was very nice, very technical. In your face. So a little space at the back where we got to breathe for about 500 meters, and then that was it. It was done. We worked all day.
So, Joe, I think Ron has had an easy run the whole way through the year so far. Hey, now you're delivering.
No, I didn't race last year. So this year didn't do the first one. Second one I done it was like a wake-up call. Reckon some training, sort bike out, sus, get things going. And this time I got it. I got a second. Pulled off a bit behind, so next time I pull off with old Ronald there, we're going to go. We're going to go.
Ivan, you've been the man of the moment in your category for the EWXCs this year. Kirky's coming though, buddy. He's coming.
He's coming. He's close. He's somewhere. He almost got me. No, he rode well. It was quite a choppy track. Very nice. I think Kirk must have done some homework because I was going fast and he was very close to me. So, yeah, well done, Singh.
Kirky just chatted to Ivan and he knows you're coming. We've only got one round. Can you actually give us an EWXC win this year?
I really hope so. I mean, he's given me a proper hiding the last 3 rounds. This round was much better. I think it was about less than a minute between us. It's getting closer, so hopefully, I can't promise, but I'll give it my best shot. I promise you, that's what I'll do.
Take us through the highlights of this track. For me, I think it's one of the best ones I've seen.
It was really nice. I must say the first part of the race was a little dusty. We were into the sun, so you couldn't see that nicely. And then the second loop was brilliant. But overall, I think it was a great track. Igor and the team did a brilliant job. A fair track and a good track.
Check me hanging out the tree there in the gully.
I did. I nearly hit you. But it's always nice to see a friendly face when you're riding through a gully somewhere in the bush. So nice to see your face and shouting and rooting for us. That's great. Thank you.
Let's confirm the results then at round number 3. Pro Elites was all about Garvey hammering the field with championship leader Oust in second, Kleinam, Stewart and Lowe the top 5. In the Pro Bs, Xander Gerson back on top, his first big win of the season, beating out Otto, Musango and Roll, taking his highest finish of the season so far, ahead of Dupria. In the high schools, J-Dog once again the kid to beat on the high school 125s. Elkington, the most consistent rider, ahead of Bagwood, Sequira and Battersby. And in the senior pros, Ronnie Fenter, the first of the 3-for-3 club, getting the job done. Can he score a clean sheet? João Ashadina may have something to say about that at the final round. And in the Masters, Ruby Roo, Ivan Roo getting it done once again, 3-for-3 ahead of Kirky. Kirky is coming though, ahead of Obrinser, Horlacher and Base. Next up, the afternoon race, and it is going to be the rest of the categories going out and challenging to see what they can do on the same mountains that the pros cleaned up earlier in the morning. What they had in difference though was the heat was really up now. Out the gate, and as always, everyone was going to be rocking their way down into the lowlands. A load of different categories, and the Pro Minis were out on this track as well. For me, the Pro Minis were going to have a huge challenge going up onto the high mountains as well. A couple of rock steps at the top, and the smaller power and smaller wheels was going to be a big problem for them. But we had great gates, and if you got the whole shot, like we saw with Elru van der Vesthuizen there, challenging for the Silver Bees, that was going to be a good situation. You wouldn't be sucking dust in the early laps, at least until you got into the traffic. Remember, the afternoon race was for the Silver A's, the Silver B's, the Club, the Pro Minis, and there were a couple of Lady A races going out there as well. And once again, round number 3, we saw well over 200 riders peppering across all of the categories, showing that there was no drop-off, which there historically is in the EWXC series. For now, the series is good and the numbers are still strong. Up on the highlands, with Steph getting up close and personal with the ladies, doing a chase down on the rocks. 2 ladies finishing in the ladies' A's. That was Leandra Williams getting the job done in the 2 spot. And there was once again just no beating Catherine Mostert. She is currently on track to be the queen of the EWXCs in 2021.
Well done on that section, that was impressive.
Thank you.
How's your race going?
This is what happens when you're the smallest kid in the class.
Oh shit, man.
Yeah.
Which class are you racing in?
Pro Mini.
You're looking awesome out there. Fearless. Enjoy your race.
I'm beating my dad, so I've won 3. Yeah, that's one thing I can brag about.
Awesome. Well done.
Thank you.
Have a good race.
Oh well.
That's it, you see. Beat your dad, have some fun, get on TV. It's a good day at the office. Angelo Dimitriatis getting it done in the number 6 finish, tagging the final finish of the Pro Minis. Up the road from him was James Fuchs, making it look a little bit smoother up on the mountains, but spare a thought for these kids. They have to run the exact same loop as the pros do as well, and it is more than a challenge, believe you me. The Monroes are all over the EWXCs at the moment. They've got to run a 5-rider entry across Dad and all the kids. Daniel Monroe on the number 10, getting a number 4 finish. That keeps him in the championship hunt as well as we start heading to the final round of the series. The venue yet to be announced, but that's coming up very, very soon. Dave O'Clark was getting the job done inside of a number 3 ride, and he is the one junior rocking it out on the Titan squad. Davo is one of the smallest dudes out there on the gate at the moment, and 3rd place is a huge, huge brag as well. Even though he had to pick himself up a couple of times, the Titans rider got the job done in 3rd place to keep the championship alive, heading to round number 4. Strong ride coming out of this kid, and a lot of buzz about him as well. Gabriel Du Toit on the 95 seems to be the only rider to come anywhere near the back wheel of eventual race winner Matt Stevens. For now, 2nd place, and it looks like a potential 2nd place in the championship as well. Gabe Du Toit certainly got that style moving on. Can't wait to see what he does when he steps on up into the rest of the rankings. We know for a fact Matty Stevens is about to make the jump in 2022 up onto the high schools, but I think he's the one kid that can make it count. This season so far, he has been unstoppable.
Tell me about it.
This is Heidelberg. It's just rocks and rocks. Around the corner there's a climb. There's no breathing space. Hopefully it just gets easier.
Nice. Yeah. Enjoying it, having fun.
Yeah, having fun. It's just so long. It's hot. I think that's what's catching out everybody. It's
the heat.
It's the heat. The heat is a lot. Other than that, it's
catching your breath.
Yeah. Going outside. A bit tired. Sure.
Hot day.
Again?
It's a hot day today.
Yeah.
How many laps are you racing?
I'm doing 2.
2. Okay.
Sure, the heat is catching me. My body is hot. Yeah.
Enjoying the shade?
I'm trying to.
Is it hot out there?
Very hot. In your face. Not a lot of space to catch your breath. Yeah.
Making the best of the breather.
Trying to.
Have a good race.
Thanks, man.
Stefan, it's the last keer gechat ook.
Yes.
How's your race going?
Eindelijk alright.
Is it?
Kak maar alright. As ek klaar is gaan focus.
Mooi man.
Once again, Steph getting up close and personal with our friends up on the mountains.
What warrants that expression?
Stuff, man. Hands don't want to fucking work no more.
Got an arm pump.
Too much. I think I've just got arm pump.
But have fun at least.
The club racers took a beating up there on the mountains, but, you know, as the season gets longer, the tracks do tend to get a little bit tougher. What on earth is going to be in store for us at round number 4? Kai Plows got the job done inside of a number 10 finish, with Don Ladbrook getting it up inside of single digits, and Jean-Marc Cilliers rocking up into a number 8. Remember, as I said at the top end of the show, the heat really came up. We were in the mid-30s by the time the clubbies were up on the mountains. George Ruttman was up there as well, also taking some beat by the heat.
How's your race going?
Yeah, Kazi. Lekker bit of stuff. Lucky by Heidelberg.
How many laps have you done?
This is my first one.
First one. Enjoy.
Not a heartbreaker. 1 lap and 1 lap still to go. The clubbies really starting to feel the heat. Luke Battersby, who normally races on the flatlands on an 85, but for the rocks, he's allowed to step up onto his 150, which he does love as well, before he makes the move up into the next category. For now, he is really enjoying his time on the club championship, and running inside the top 6 is nice numbers on the page as well, being the youngest rider on that gate at the moment. Work Smook right smack bang in the middle of the age category for the clubbies. And the number 5 ride shows that he does put some extra time in. A little bit of extra training always shows when you come to race day. Nicholas Ferrier was inside of a number 4. Had a little bit of traffic on the way as well, but sometimes it's nice to follow a wheel as well, certainly if you don't know the terrain. Liam Krause took it all the way to a number 3 ride with Brody Griffin getting it inside of a number 1, and then Alec Van Kirk. Remember, he is our championship leader. He's gone 2 for 2. Now it goes 3 for 3. Alec Van Kirk is well on his way to becoming a factory pro superstar at the moment. 3 wins on the bounce with 1 round remaining on the tour.
Okay. Taking a breather. Yeah, taking a breather. It's tough, man. Yeah, it's all right.
I'm pumped. Always a story. Oh, but it's lekker. It's good out here.
How many laps have you done?
Not even one. It's too hot out here. Fitness.
Quite a long time.
Dis flip en warm.
Die skade weer is hierdie kant.
Ja, flip.
Stop hier die son.
Ja, weggaan.
Is dit lekker?
Ek het my recht breed pedal. Breed basket, hè. Hard.
So you got a bit of a technical ride coming up. Op je ratterrem.
Ek ry nou sonder 'n kar, ek ry net so.
Shame sterkte.
Dankie.
Hardly any shade at all. It was a premium up on the big mountains at the top end of the highway. Starting to climb up the riders that ran a little bit faster pace in the afternoon race. The Silver Bees, Liam Lee getting it done inside of a number 10 ride. And then Mark O'Hara. Mark has a very different riding style. It is a more riding rather than racing style, and he just lets the event come to him. 9th place, and not too much effort spent as well. Kevin Frederick got a job done inside of a number 8 ride, with Ryan Curtis climbing the ladder inside of a number 7. Remember, these will be the guys that are trying to fight out for the championships in the Silver Bees coming into this round. Luke Gavea has a stranglehold over Johan Clark and Ronan Shapiro. Those are the guys chasing for the top 3s. Ryan Curtis on a number 7 at the moment, sitting outside of the top 10 in the championship at this stage of the game though. Tane Norton getting up close and having a word with everyone. As the riders said, even the pro category races, there was just no respite on this track, and that's why we saw everyone suffering so hard. Normally the flatland sections do offer maybe a minute or 2 just to actually get that lactic acid out of all the muscles for round number 3. The tagline was, in your face. Johan Clark walking away with number 5, and then one of the superstars of this class, Leonard DeSantos. Leonard is sitting in a number 9 points coming into this round, so a high finish here, 4th place, definitely moved him up 1, 2, or even maybe 3 positions in the championship. Leonard has run a little bit higher on the tour so far, so it was just a tough day at the office at round number 3, the second time he revisited the rocks and mountains of Heidelberg. Sun's out, guns out. Ronan Shapiro, top 3 at almost every single round so far. He is sitting 3rd on championship points, and a 3rd here keeps him in position. He's doing a good job to walk away with some silverware come the end of the 2021 EWXC Championship. Donnie Rass, he was missing in action at round number 1. He got a high finish though at round number 2. He's sitting in 10th place in the championship, and he's about to jump up to possibly get inside of the top 5 with a great 2nd place here at EWXC round number 3. Once again, Luki Gavea though is going to be the top of the charts and extends in his championship challenge as well. 20 points at round number 1, a full bag of 25 for the win at round number 2, and 25 once again. He is checking out at the top end of the charts in the Silver Bee Championship.
But rough.
The later the day goes, the less words come out of the riders' mouths on the mountains. They are simply trying to suck oxygen and get those lungs working once again. In the Silver A's, the guys that had a fast pace going in the afternoon race, all about JJ Oosthuizen getting a number 10 ride. Up the road from him was Dean Pretorius, who also had a good flow going in the mountains on the E235. Pretorius at the moment sitting outside of a top 10 in the rankings, so everything is about to change when we start to tally the points heading into the final round of the series. The 606 of Richard Fenter also coming in late for the series. But you'll see a lot of these riders using the EWXC to springboard their form as they get ready for some of the 3-day events coming up later in the year. The next one on the cards for us, we're going to be focusing in on the Impi. That's going to be a 3-day event down in KZN. Can't wait for that one. Right now, focusing in on the EWXCs, Jean-Michel Coligi getting it done inside of a number 6 ride. Jean-Michel also sitting outside of the top 10, looking to improve. You see a lot of different riders coming in for this category, but the riders inside of the top 5 will be the ones trying to nail down the points and the trophies and championships come the end of the day. Brad Norkia coming off a number 4 ranking coming into this round as well. Stays almost on point as well with a number 5 ride. Craig Lovell, he's been doing some good work on the season as well. We haven't seen him delivering the goods in the championship so far, but a 4th place ride sets him up nicely at the second half of the tour. Kyle Lombard rocking his way once again to a number 3 ride, 2nd in points coming into this round, so it's going to be a nail biter coming down to the finish. It's very much between Kyle Lombard at the moment and Jonathan Edwards. Don't count out this guy though, Byron Williams, 3rd in points coming into this round. It is not decided just yet. It's been 2 wins on the bounce for Johnny Edwards, with Lombard and Williams going back and forth at the opening 2 rounds as well. At the moment, on paper, it looks like a dice for 2nd place though, as Jonathan Edwards for the Bikers Warehouse squad brings his Black Betty smoking Husqvarna to the tippy top once again. He joins the 3 for 3 club, going undefeated on the season, looking for a clean scorecard heading to round number 4. Here's confirmation of the results coming in from race number 2 on the day. Johnny Edwards, 3 for 3 on the season, this time ahead of Williams, Lombard, Lovell and Norkia. In the Silver Bees, all about Luke Gouveia starting to run the numbers and extend his championship hopes as well. This time he puts one over on Ras, Shapiro, DeSantos, Clark and Norton inside of the top 6. The Clubbies, Alec van Niekerk is the man and remains at the top of the charts for the championship chase, undefeated. This time it's Griffin, Kraus, Ferrier, Smook and Battersby tagging the top 6. For the Pro Minis, Matty is the man once again. Matt Stevens beating out on Gabe DeToy, Clarkey, Monroe, Folks and Dimitriatis. And in the Ladies A's, Catherine Mostert is still the queen so far, beating out on Leandra Williams. Our 3rd and final race on the day at round number 3 of the EWXCs was our juniors, and we chatted to route director and EWXC race organizer Andre Ruert about what the kids had in store. I saw online as well, you had a couple of factory pros checking things out for the junior route. Tell me about the juniors.
Yeah, the juniors have got a nice little 2.5k route. It took Blake Goodside about 4.5 minutes to do it. So yeah, and he was flying around there. We did a little video, which we'll put on our YouTube channel. So check that out. That was spectacular.
So staying in the lowlands, a short loop, and the kids would be burning it up. Once again, the flag drops would be going out there, but they were running on times. So the ticking clock started to run around as our junior 65s, junior 85s, and ladies Bs went out. This would be the final race run at Heidelberg before we moved on to a new venue for round number 4. In the ladies Bs, all about Jessica Van Rossum. Small run on the track, not too tech, much less technical than last time, and it definitely ran faster lap times. Michaela Lombard was out there on the small wheel, Kawasaki getting the job done, only beaten out by one lady on the day, and she is starting to develop nicely. We should see her by the final round. If not, then we're going to go and see her on the big loop, racing in the ladies A category. Kendra Lewis-Monto is starting to really find her form at the EWXCs, get more comfortable on the terrain and on her machine, and I'm expecting to see her make the jump up very, very soon. For the Junior 65s, everyone's chasing down on Caden Schroeder, who is our championship leader at this stage of the game. Connor Tunis was there in a number 6, with Luke van Loggenberg dropping in to a number 5. Alonso Foster was there taking a number 4 ride with Brad Spencer up the road. Spencer, remember, running second place in the championship. Caden Schroeder had to settle for second place this time around at Justin Rom. Justin Rom was just too fast, once again scoring in the 65s and the 85s at this round. In the 85 category, Junior Oosthuizen, 1 or 2 fallovers once again holding him back. He had to settle for a number 7 ride. Up the road was Milan Prinsloo taking a number 6. Prinsloo also trying to find his form in the championship. Not a championship player at this stage of the game, but anything can happen. Noah Lewis-Monto got the E110 moving nicely as well. Sitting 4th coming into this round, looking to try and improve on that position. Enzo Kuhn inside of a number 4. Kuhn came into this round 3rd place in the championship, so he's trying to consolidate those points to have a bit of a buffer heading to the final round. Justin Rom, absolute lightning out there, racing in the 65s and the 85s. Rom, once again, coming into this round 6th place on points, should improve with his 3rd place ride. And the top 2 was an in-house battle. Tristan Monroe on the number 4, chasing down on brother Tyrone. This time around, the number 4 with some creative lines to make those passes out there on a very technical track. The number 4 of Tristan Monroe, who came into this round 2nd on points. 2nd place this time around. It's going to tighten things up heading to the final round. And Tyrone Monroe, even though he was with his brother most of the day, towards the end of the laps, even with a small crash in the rocks and marbles of the forest, picked himself up and walked away with the win. He came into this round 2nd on championship points. He is looking to lead going into the final round. Tyrone Monroe takes his big win on the 85 juniors at round number 3 at Heidelberg. Final confirmation then of the junior race. That's race number 3 coming out of Heidelberg. Tyrone Monroe gets the win ahead of Tristan Monroe. Justin Ron in 3rd place ahead of Kuhn and Lewis-Monto. In the junior 65s, Rom on top once again. He cannot be beaten by the looks of things. He stays ahead of Schroeder, Spencer and Foster. And the ladies B's, once again, it's Kendra Lewis-Monto. At the end of another great racing day, we had the final word from Andre.
Andre, always a fantastic end to the day. Really good race this morning, and amazing to see the heat come up so early on as well.
Absolutely, the guys were on fire this morning. It has got very hot now, but yeah, the lap times are fantastic. Somewhere around 42, 43 minutes for the fastest guys, which is blistering fast over this terrain.
Dusted up nicely today, but nothing too bad. The track is actually held together nicely.
The track's 100%. Yes, dust is an issue, but mud could be an issue in the other spectrum, so we're all good.
I can't believe it's already almost time to talk about the final round. It's coming up in just over a month's time.
Absolutely. 8th of May, Saturday 8th of May. We'll be somewhere hopefully near Hearties. Can't disclose that just yet, but yeah, we're looking forward to the grand finale to see who's going to take the championships.
Keep an eye on the press as we announce a brand new venue for round number 4 and the finale of the EWXC 2021 Championship. All this Michelin EWXC racing action was proudly brought to you by Recopan Landscaping and Pertec Fluid Transfer Solutions in association with Titans, Enduro World and Nucleus Mining Logistics.